And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of the Maxwell Hamilton Show. Currently joined by Wheeling University head men's rugby coach Maxwell Hamilton. And Maxwell, last time out, you guys played a tough game with Walsh in your ARC schedule. First conference loss of the year. Talk about that match and kind of the hard fought and what you saw from your team.
Yeah, Zach, I think that day we showed a lot of energy and passion, especially in the last 20 minutes. I think that game alone was a little bit of a lapse of the gas on the pedal for us. I think we did not give enough pressure in the opening half. We gave too much opportunity to Walsh. In the first half of the match, you could see every point that Walsh scored was a give up from us, whether we gave them a quick try and they intercepted the ball from us, or whether we got penalized and they shot for points. I think every point that they were able to walk away with was something that we gave them, and that's something that we worked on in the last 2 weeks, is being more disciplined on the line, making sure that we are not giving errors that can end up hurting us and sandbagging our team.
And in the second half of that game, you guys really came back. You scored a lot of your points in that second half. Nearly were able to overtake them, just couldn't come up short. As a coach, seeing that fight in the second half, what did that give you positively?
Yeah, it gives me a lot of faith in my team that they have the same goal as I do, as well as they have a sense of urgency that they want to win and they don't like losing, right? I think what we're learning from this and what our biggest takeaway is giving that amount of pressure in the beginning of the match, giving that amount of pressure for the whole 80 minutes, right? It's an 80-minute game. It's a whole marathon. I keep saying it. Sprinting in the last 20 minutes does nothing for us if we were down by so much in the first hour. So Zach, I think the biggest thing that we walked away from that is give consistent pressure throughout the whole match, and what that'll end up doing for us is walking away with a win.
And as you guys continue through your schedule, you're going to look at some of your leaders to kind of help you rebound. Alex Nyamunda leads the team in tries right now. Panache Magori-Godi has had a great stretch. Talk about how the leaders are going to kind of take that role and kind of help you guys advance.
Yeah, in the last week, I've had a lot of conversation with the boys in my office. A lot of them keep coming to me, asking and giving new ideas about how we can try to boost team camaraderie and things like that. I think a lot of the extra parts of our program, especially the outside of rugby things, that's what we're starting to focus on now. The rugby itself, it's been great. We're training hard, we're pushing ourselves every day in the gym, but it's those extra things that we're trying to work on now, making sure that the team is happy and safe and sleeping well at night, because those are the little things, Zach, that are going to help us win this in the end.
And this past week, you guys had your bye week, no games on Saturday. Talk about how you use that time to kind of rest and recover and get ready to go into the second half.
Yeah, so what we were able to do is really give the team the time they needed to recover, but also keep them consistent with the work rate that we're expecting, right? We have a bye week following against Queens this weekend as well, so we really took this first bye week to make sure that we said, hey, let's not just slow down and give a rest and recovery. Let's push ourselves harder so we can be prepared for Queens, especially coming after the loss that we had, knowing Queens also came from a loss from St. Bonaventure as well. Both teams from the loss, we said to ourselves, we got to work hard throughout this bye week. We got to earn and we got to have the right grit going into the match against Queens. After that match this Friday, Zach, I'm going to give them a few days break. They've deserved it.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head men's rugby coach Maxwell Hamilton. And Maxwell, obviously a big game for you on Thursday. You're on NCR's Friday Night Lights on your home pitch with homecoming happening. Talk about what it means to your program to kind of be highlighted on that national stage.
Yeah, we're excited, Zach. We've been thinking about it since the beginning of the year when we were put on the schedule. I think a lot of the boys are excited to see, what production and what show NCR can do out of this for us across the country. I think that's the biggest thing, right, is Friday Night Rugby continues their whole tour year round or throughout the year, but we're just one stop on their tour, and I'm really excited to see the traction that we get from the rest of the country tuning in, watching this. This is going to be a big message out to the U.S., especially with the result of our match. We are the two semifinalists from last year. So again, this is a repeat of that semifinal, as well as the ability for us to show what we've learned and to prove it a little bit too on the line.
And you mentioned that there's some history with you guys. Last year, semifinal matchup, you guys fell short in that game. Talk about how that's going to kind of fuel this matchup on Friday, having seen these guys and played them on the big stage.
Yeah, from the very beginning of the year, we've isolated this match. This is the one that we're the most excited for. This is our last home match of the year until anything else comes of it from national play. So we're looking for this as our send-off as well a little bit, to say, hey, this is our last chance to play in front of the home crowd. Let's show Queens, what Wheeling has. especially on a homecoming weekend like this. We know there's going to be tons of fans and alumni in the stands too. We're really excited for the energy that's going to be brought this weekend.
And finally, talk about some of the game plan you guys have and some of the things Queens brings to the table.
Yeah, Queens definitely brings a lot of force in their maul and their line out specifically. You know, their forwards are very big boys. But I'm very excited to see what my backline can do against them. You know, I think, and I've said it in previous shows, I believe Wheeling University's men's rugby has one of the best backlines in the country, and we are ready to show that against Queens. You know, our forwards have put in a lot of work this past week, making sure we're prepared for the defensive line out in the maul, especially after seeing what Queens has done to St. Bonaventure in that aspect of the game. We know what to kind of be prepared for. We've also kind of been able to isolate Queens a little bit and see what moments are coachable moments and what moments are athlete-driven moments with the film that we've seen from them. So we can kind of see how their coaches are telling the team how to play, as well as how the athletes are taking that and using it for themselves as well.
Thanks, Max. Good luck this week. Can't wait to see you out there.
Thanks, Zach, and go Cards.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.
And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.